Today I am humble and grateful, but I have not always been that way. I remember not long ago, I was hurt and confused. It wasn't that I was ever ungrateful, as in life there's always something to smile about, but once my mother became terminally ill, that's when life started to change. At this moment in my life, my mother is nonverbal, and throughout my life, we did not communicate the most important things. Important factors such as if she or I were ever nonverbal, which is reality today, what would our wishes be? This has taken a toll on me because I am now her voice, and I've been appointed her medical proxy, meaning I make all medical decisions for her. Yet due to the minor communications, when it comes to making decisions for her, I truly don't know what she wants. Even if I were to tell her story, I don't have enough information to do so. I am just going by what I think is best. Yet I constantly remind myself that as long as the word possibility exists, there will always be change. I'm not sure how many of us still have our parents, but my advice, love them. Find it in your heart and soul to forgive them for any wrongdoings, even if it's just to yourself. That one step will better our community and your perspective of things. Trust me, when it gets to the point of asking a question and you really can't get an answer, that's when things start to get difficult. We need to get back to the village, and without communication, there is no village. The importance of communication is imperative in our communities, as we are constantly outraged by what others say about our history, but without sharing our experience, what difference are we truly making? Whom do we help by being silent? From my third eye view, it seems our desire to speak and communicate with each other is slowly dissipating, similar to a car tire with a slow leak. At first you don't notice it, but once you feel the vehicle moving in an unusual way, you know you have a problem. Now that we've addressed that, I want to talk about how we're aiding the strategy of separation, as we are strategically unaware of the cunning effect of electronics in our society today. My question to all of you, are we going to allow Siri, Alexa, or Google to be our voice, or are we brave enough to use our own? Now, call this a theory, but I regret to inform you that we are now the modern-day slaves of the modern-day oppressors. Welcome to the Matrix, everyone. I'm sure I've lost some of you after saying this statement, but hear me out. How many of you have spoken to a loved one, relative, or anyone for that matter on the phone versus through text or any type of chat? Please raise your hand. Thank you. If so, I commend you. If not, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just speaking my truth. If I were to pull up your car log, could you recall if the longest conversation you had recently with a loved one was longer than a conversation with a 1-800 number? Just give it some thought. Next, if I were to ask you, what would I have to offer you to give up your phone for a week? Would there be any volunteers? Thank you. Okay, could this be a silent addiction of ours as it's just become an everyday thing? Just as easy as it is to follow someone on social media, it's just that easy to satisfy society. All we ask is that you follow, right? Sounds like an oppressor to me. Do what the master says or get left behind. Think for a second. Do you remember the simplicity of the house phone? Leave a message, I'll get back to you. In this era, we act as if every call is related to urgency. What happened to patience and anticipation? It's now become instant gratification. I will say this loud and clear. If we succumb, we fail. If we fight, we prevail. With that being said, can you hear my message a bit clearer? So I say this to all parents and guardians. Have you ever thought of who you would like to speak for you if you cannot speak anymore? Maybe you should. Outside of that, we must take the time to be open to communicating more, actively listening to the best of our ability without electronics, be mindful of our own level of electronic dependency, let the youth know that their voices matter and that they are heard. Foster parents, when fostering these children, guide them and treat them as if they are your own, show them the love and affection they have not had. Provide reassurance that love still exists and they can find it in their newfound home. Let's not forget, there are a plethora of children that are being bullied on a daily basis. The tactic used is mainly the internet or social media. Cyberbullying happens more than we think. Then we have the pedophiles that we are up against using the same tactics. We have suicides at an all-time high. We must step in and be the wings of support. Technology is not only a distraction, but an obstacle to pertaining human communication and human connection. We are in a time where we have to convince others to see our actual reality versus the dominating virtual reality. We are no longer living in the land before time. We are now living in the land of our time. We are the generation to experience human intelligence versus artificial intelligence, parents versus programs, reality versus virtual reality, and it all points to our biggest distraction, technology. The only number I have for you to call is 1-800-COMMUNICATE before it's too late. Thank you.
Oh my God.